the new actuator from rockauto.com.
That stuff is breaking all the time.
So your defroster's not working. So the defroster in your Honda Pilot. So the defroster in your 2006 Honda Pilot's not working. First thing you need to know is that there's two different actuators involved in your HVAC system. One is your blend actuator. That's located on the passenger side, and that's the one that blends hot and cold air. The other actuator is over here on the driver's side, and that one's the mode actuator, and this changes the flow of the air from face to feet, then also up to the dash, which is your defroster, and that's right down here. Right up. Now inside this box is a little motor. When you push the button, the motor turns this, and these levers will flip the diverters to where they need to go. Now right now mine, I told it to do defrost, but it's not doing anything. It gets stuck in the down position. I was able to just kind of force it. I got it to work for a little while, but then when I switched it back, it's stuck. When I push it, it goes. Airflow. So now my question is do I replace that whole piece, or do I take it out and try to clean it? I think what's actually happening is it's just gunked up. Okay, first thing you want to do is just unplug it, then unscrew these. These are 7mm screws. Tell you the hardest part about this whole thing is getting your head in here. It is 7mm, but it's actually a Phillips head also, so I'm only going to be able to get this in there. So this screw right there is a lot harder to get off than you would think, just because it's hard to get to. Finally, what got it for me was a ratchet, not a screwdriver, not my drill. That's all. That's just those two screws, and then it's loose, but then we've got to get the arms off of it. Let me just push that little part there, and it should slide off. Okay, so I just pushed like that, and I think I broke it. That's the actuator motor. Okay, so see that nub, there's a little hole and it snaps in there right there. The price for new ones of these is pretty expensive, or can be. I've seen them range all over the place online, and so just in case I can't get an affordable one, I want to see if maybe it's just easy to, well, I broke that off, so I guess we're gonna need a new one no matter what. I hate tabbed things like this. Look at that, they both broke off. I guess lesson to you, if you want to take this apart, be more gentle. And those broke really, really easy. So you just barely want to tab that and slide it apart. Alright, so there's our innards. Okay, for several reasons I've already screwed this up, and I'm gonna have to get a new one. Like I said, I broke off these tabs. One thing is I pulled this motor out and I wasn't paying attention to what side was which. I think that probably matters with polarity because it turns the motor one way or the other. The other thing is you want to mark, before you take this out, it all mark where it was, because all of these settings where they meet these contacts, it's kind of important. Like this can turn any which way, and it locks like there and there, but I don't know if it was that way or this way. But I do think this is probably indicates kind of what was wrong, because this was very dirty. Like there's the grease that I wiped off of it. It was not just dirty, but the grease was all bunched up in spots, and I think that the dielectric grease really is what makes the contacts work really well. See these little contacts right there? Very dirty. Then also, if you see like the grease on the gears is all bunched up. Good thing is with this out of the car, it's not like we're not going to have air. So out of morbid curiosity, I hooked up a battery. It is 9 volts, and I think these kind of motors are usually like 1.5 volt. But I'm being kind of crazy here because I know I'm going to buy a new one, but watch the worm gear. So this motor, see how I hold the clip on there and the motor starts, but then it stops. I don't know if that has to do with having too much voltage, but it might be showing me that this motor's shot.
Is this thing on? Well, back in my day, we controlled the air vents in our car with levers and rods. Well, that's to go wrong. None of this stuff with those servos and the microchips and whatnot. That stuff is breaking all the time.
All right, so when you're up in here, probably it's a nice idea to get a light. I like these rechargeable ones because there's no cords in the way, and just get it situated up in here so that it shines right up there. And then you're gonna put your head over here. And since your body's all torqued up in here, what I found was helpful is to put like this homemade step stool that I made, so I can lay on it. So I just got the new actuator from rockauto.com, and it comes with this instruction sheet, which is helpful. So I don't know, depending on where you got yours, you may not have these, but it says do not attempt to bench test this motor. I did that on the old one, don't do it on the new one. Be sure the vehicle is off, and you want your HVAC control to be in the off position. So we'll make sure of that first. Alright, first important step is just getting the orientation correct. And so this knobbed part of the thing is to the left. So specifically for this, for the mode actuator, this is the plug that the power goes into, so it needs to be facing straight down. So first we're just gonna plug it in. Should just slide in and click on. And then we're gonna put it in and just screw it on. This piece right here has a clip in it that clips to that center piece. Feels like it fit pretty good there. The hardest part about this is laying under here, trying to use your left hand to reach my right hand of it. One other thing too to note when you're situating this piece back on the drive shaft is don't try to turn the motor to fit this. You could ruin the motor. What you want to do is, if this happens to be out of sync with the shaft, you turn the levers for this piece to fit the shaft. This wouldn't be so bad if the emergency brake pedal wasn't right in the back of my head. So now it's the moment of truth. This is in there nice and tight. I feel like everything's good to go. It's in the off position right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the air. All right, so now I'm gonna push the mode button and see what happens. All right. Right there's the working motor, my friends. That's how that works. Save money. Learn stuff, do it yourself.
Next time on Blind Squirrel DIY, join us as we figure out what causes the door lock to not work on the driver's side when all the other locks work just fine. Only on Blind Squirrel DIY.
Same 2006. Could be the same division. Self-explanatory.
Lefty.